Hey everyone on LinkedIn. Today I want to talk about and reference a deep dive that I did on Solana. Solana is the blockchain that I think some of you may have heard of. But what got me started into looking at Solana was because we all know about Ethereum killers. But if you look here, it seems like everyone's talking about Solana killers. Top left, is Aptos the new Solana killer? Bottom left, Sui, is that the next Solana? And then another guy wrote about Solana killers. Is it going to be Sui or Aptos? And are they going to strike? So I was wondering, why is Solana all of a sudden being viewed as a killer, as someone that everyone's got a target on? Because I'm not sure if you remember, but Solana had a near-death experience. They basically almost died. So let me just give you a quick background for those who never heard of Solana. Solana is what, it's going to be a big mouthful. It's a monolithic beta stage, non-EVM, EVM meaning Ethereum virtual machine, designed L1 meaning layer 1, third generation smart contract protocol, SCP, to enhance network scalability, meaning improve on what's going on with Ethereum. And they want to improve performance through its proof of stake / proof of history technology. I'm going to explain that in my deep dive, but I just wanted to give you a concise sentence. So the original use case for Solana was basically to disintermediate Wall Street or disrupt Wall Street. But now, because of their near-death experience, they've moved from Wall Street and DeFi to onboarding consumers. So I like to look at, when I'm doing a deep dive, I like to do an almost transcendental experience, combining body, mind, experience. And a spirit. But what I mean by that, I'm using that as an analogy, as a metaphor. What I like to do is look at the blockchain from a holistic point of view. Take a look at all the factors, and then within each factor, look at the sub-factors, and then get a gut feeling and a net rating for it. So like I like to take everything in. You can't just look at one factor. And that's what a lot of people do. They get excited. Oh my God, this chain is doing ordinals. This chain is doing NFTs. They're doing DeFi. They're doing decentralized DEXs. But you cannot analyze a blockchain just looking at one factor. So here's the near-death experience I keep alluding to. FTX actually had two. They had what you call the systemic body blow, and that's when Terra Luna failed in around May and June of 2022. But then Solana had what you call an idiosyncratic risk. That was basically an extinction event when FTX / Alameda Research went bust. And that really hit Solana big time. And here in this chart, you can see that the total value locked, which is a way of measuring DeFi, it declined dramatically from $8 billion down to maybe $150 million. It was a huge, huge event. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. That was 8 billion sold. It went from 8 billion sold down to maybe few hundred million sold. And in dollar terms, they went from nearly $6 billion down to maybe $100 million. So there's two ways of measuring it, either in sold coins or in dollars. Either way, it declined dramatically to where the project was seen as being extinct. So what I looked at when I did my deep dive is how many dApps are on the blockchain project of Solana, and how does this compare to other blockchains, which you can see here in the chart. And in the chart here, you can see that Solana is in green. And next, what I did is I compared the Solana blockchain to what's called the holy grail of blockchains. And this is from Vitalik Buterin. He calls it the blockchain trilemma, meaning that it's impossible to meet all three, meaning scalability, decentralization, and security. So what I did is I mapped Solana to where I thought it should be on that pyramid of that holy grail, or trinity, you could call it. Then I looked at tokenomics, they call it, or token economics. And factors are included, or one of them is included here, is inflation. And if you look at inflation for Solana, it's actually quite high. It's just a little lower than Polkadot. So that's a bad thing. So why would I be interested in Solana? Or why would I even give Solana a good rating or a decent rating for tokenomics when it's so inflationary? Because inflationary, remember, debases and devalues the currency. So why would I be so interested in Solana if it has such a high inflation rate? Well, stay tuned, and I'm going to show you why in the deep dive. So another part of tokenomics is the vesting schedule. If it's like this, it's not good. And that's how it was during the first 1 to 2 years. The vesting schedule was very steep. So what does that mean? It means that those big insiders like the Solana Foundation or the founders of Solana or the original seed investors, they were able to unlock their coins and basically sell their coins as that vesting schedule allowed them to unlock their coins, meaning those whales could dump their coins and push down Solana. So that was a very bad thing. But now that vesting schedule is basically flat. The only vesting now is basically the fees that are producing coins onto the market. But on the positive side, half of those fees are going to be burnt anyway. So overall, I think the vesting schedule is good. So let's go to the next slide, because this is not the deep dive. This is only the introduction to Solana. Social engagement. Perhaps the only good thing, the only smart thing that Sam Bankman-Fried said is that social engagement is very, very important for a blockchain. I never thought it was, but after long consideration, I think he's right. And if you look at Solana here, and this data is from Artemis, Solana is only the second, I should say it is the second highest socially engaged chain on Twitter. But actually they missed Binance. The Binance chain has 10.6 million followers. So I would say Solana is number 3. That's still very high. So that's a very good sign. So even though Solana doesn't have high total value locked, it has very high social engagement. So if you believe Sam Bankman-Fried, social engagement is very important. Saga Phone. Speaking of social engagement, Solana introduced the Solana Saga Phone, and they're hoping with their wallet that's going to be included. They have a cold wallet integrated within that phone. They're hoping that they're going to be able to quickly onboard consumers. And here you can see the orders. It started from 0 in May of 2022, and there's been a slow and steady climb to nearly 10,000 orders. Is that as much as iPhone, the Apple iPhone, and Android? Of course not. They've got millions and millions of phones, but the addressable market is so large that even if Solana just gets like 1% of that market, that would be a success. Or even a fraction of 1%, that would be a success. And now what I want to point out is, besides the Solana phone, we've got Helium and decentralized physical infrastructure networks moving onto Solana. So that's called DPIN, and Helium is part of that. Helium has hotspots and a mobile network, and they could only do this on Solana because Helium actually had their own blockchain but they found it wasn't good enough. So what they did is they migrated to Solana, because Solana, and you can read this for yourself, Solana is extremely fast. It has quick finality, and it has extremely low network cost via something called compressed NFTs. And another blockchain moving to Solana is Render. So if you're an artist like Beeple, and Beeple is an owner, I believe, an advisor to Render. Remember, Beeple, I forgot his name, Alex Winkleman, I think. He sold his collage of 5,000 NFTs on Christie's for $69 million. And he uses it. He renders. Basically, he renders either 2D or 3D digital artwork using Render. So it's a pretty amazing technology. So remember, Render is all it is a rendering technology, but it's a decentralized rendering technology. And the only way to use that technology successfully is to have a blockchain platform like Solana that can do it quickly and cheaply. There are no other platforms that I know of that can do that. And of course, let's not forget AI. AI is like the hottest thing on the NASDAQ, and even Solana is getting into it. Solana is the first blockchain to adopt a ChatGPT plugin. So in conclusion, this is my preview of the deep dive. I'm going to leave you a link in this post, and you can take a look at it for yourself, because the deep dive is just too long to be on LinkedIn or anywhere. It has to be on my YouTube channel. Well, I hope you enjoyed this and that you take a look at Solana, because it's a very interesting blockchain that had 2 near-death experiences, but it's coming back strong. Thank you and bye-bye.